I apologize for how long this video is going to be in advance because I know this is going to be a long video. Hey, so this is a video I've been debating doing for like quite some time now, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. After thinking about it, I think I am going to do it. So basically what I'm going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to be showing you all the work that I did at my community college. So I already graduated from my community college with a degree in art. I took 5 art classes in total, well 6 including this other one that I'm going to include today. And I thought it would be fun to go over the work I did in all the classes. This is mainly for me, like I said, just to see how much I improved, because I am going to continue going to college for art. So like I said, I did graduate from the school. I put sticky notes to censor where I'm from, but I did get a degree. The funny thing is they sent me the wrong degree because I should have had a degree in art, and it says multidisciplinary studies, which is funny. Yeah, I'm also kind of praying none of my teachers who taught me at this school somehow find this and watch this. If you do though, any of you, don't tell me. Like, I don't care if you watch it, just don't tell me you watched it. And then we're good. So, community college was interesting for me, which most of you may not know, is I didn't graduate high school. I ended up going straight into a dual credit kind of program because I was homeschooled. I say homeschooled with quotation marks because I didn't really finish high school at all. Basically we had some family issues, and then I basically just stopped doing homeschool work, and then my dad found this program at our local community college that you could go to like the school, and you'd be getting credits for both high school and college. But like I said, I never ended up finishing the high school part. I just ended up graduating from college. So that's how I ended up there, and for like basically the whole time I was there I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think it was towards like when all I had left was like the classes for whatever I wanted to do, was when I was like, okay, I have to do something. And it was literally the semester before I had to choose what classes like I wanted to do, otherwise I would have to just graduate in multidisciplinary studies. I took an art appreciation course, which was like the first art class I took, and I had an amazing teacher. I absolutely loved her, and it was also super fun because I had to take this class with my sister. And basically it was in that class I realized that I could actually go to school for art, which I never really considered like an option before for whatever reason. And I wasn't 100% sure what's this class, but I'm going to show you kind of what I did in this class. This class was pretty basic, but I had fun in it. I have some stuff I did in this class. Also, this kind of shows my drawing skill before I took drawing. So like this was literally the best I could do. But we had to design a coloring book page for a coloring book that she handed out at the end of the year, and I have it around here somewhere. I just don't know where. So here's like my coloring book page I did. And then, so like every Friday in this class was something fun to do that wasn't like just like normal class. She would have us do like various art things, and you'll see more of them. And we did a collage, and this was my collage. It was kind of a horrible collage, but believe it or not, it was kind of fun in this class because I wasn't in a class with any other art majors. I was literally the only one in the class who was considering even being an art major, so we were all bad, and it was great. I would say that actually right away. Kind of one of the things that was good about me going to community college, I think, than just going to a university, was like everyone was equally bad. And I'll get into that with my drawing class too, because there was some talented people once I got into those, but this class was fun because everyone was equally bad, and it was great, and I loved that. She also had us do these like prints with like a stamp we made out of like foil and then something under it, and then we had to like tape the stamp in. We had to put everything in our notebooks so she could see what we did. Okay, this literally shows my drawing skills. So what we had to do was we would draw something, and then we would leave a hint. So this was an exquisite corpse, is what she called it. And basically you'd all draw a part of one person's drawing. And this is my sister. She drew a ship. Of course she did. But this was literally the limit of my drawing skills at this time. And you had to leave a hint. So I left my sister these little hints, and then she turned it into this. Okay, we had one talented person though, because look at these ants. I think we only had 15 minutes too. Like, what? This person still needs to give me their drawing skills. Oh yeah, and then she took us out into the sun, and we did these like sun prints with like rocks we found. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun in this class. So this class was mainly like a little bit of like art history, and then they would tell you like different art things. So it was very basic, and basically all like non-art majors had to take this class too, so it wasn't too like it wasn't that much. Oh, the final piece I did for this class had to be like a self-portrait that wasn't a self-portrait. So let me go grab it. My idea was kind of like to show like different sides of myself as dragons, kind of like some kind of inside out kind of thing. And I presented this horribly, but I think my teacher, because everyone in our class was kind of bad, just like the effort got me a good grade, I think. But she actually posted on her Instagram. So I did these little dragons that were supposed to represent like different sides of myself. So I had like this happy one, this creative one. This one's reading a book. I think he was supposed to be smart. I don't know what this purple one was ever supposed to represent. I never figured that out. And then I made this little shelf that fell off, and that had things on it that were supposed to like represent me. I know I did the tiny dinosaur, the orange one, to represent the dinosaur I made my friend. And then I have a seal in here because I had a plushie that was a seal. So it was just like a tiny little dragon thing. I'll show you more close up. I honestly don't know where I was going with this, but it was like a non-self-portrait portrait. And I'm really proud of it. I think I did pretty good. I was also like the only person who did a sculpture. I was so scared taking this into class. But let me get you a close-up of it. Okay, so here's like a close-up of it, but like, look at it. These little headphones. I even made the tablet the color of the tablet I listen to music to, still to this day. Made a little dragon covering in paint because I was creative or whatever. I don't know. You basically just had to make a self-portrait, but not actually, well, you had the option to actually draw yourself, or you could do something that represents you. I remember I was so nervous this day presenting it, but it went well. So yeah, and I was supposed to have this little bookshelf there. I don't know if I did the best job, but I think I did pretty well. In the fall, I decided to take drawing and design 1 as a test if I really wanted to go into art. This class kind of made me realize it was an option, but I was still kind of iffy if I really wanted to do it. Like, what if I go in and it's not what I want? So my dad basically told me I should just try out a class, see if I like it, and see how it goes. So the first class I took, or the first class I ended up going to, because it was my Monday class, was drawing 1. And I was terrified for this class. As you can tell from what I showed you, my drawing skills were just not there. Like, that was literally the best I could do. I didn't know how I was supposed to draw, and I've tried to learn before. I just couldn't get it. I remember I was actually stressing the whole summer because I was trying to see if I could get better, because I kind of knew there was going to be the show-offs in this class. I remember the first day of class though, the teacher, I'm really praying he's not watching this, but the teacher, he kind of scared me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it was just intimidating, but he gave off intimidating vibes, and like, it was probably to keep us in line. But yeah, so I'm gonna go get the first pieces from this class. I have this big thing that I store all my drawings in. It's so big. So basically the first day, I remember this, I knew it was gonna happen. He had us draw anything. I don't know, we could just draw something in the room, we could go find something in the room to draw. I ended up just drawing my keychain because I was terrified to get up. This was also the first class I had taken without my sister. So usually I had my sister there. She was not there for this one. Okay. Another note. I thought he was gonna burn these because he was like, just draw something, draw anything, and it's just to see where your skill level is. And he pulled them out at the end of the year, and I was like, I thought we were burning them. I drew this. This was what I drew, and it was my pushing keychain that was on my backpack, and it's so bad. Like, I'm ashamed showing this to you. So that was the first piece I did in that class. But the second piece I did in this class is actually probably one of my favorite pieces I've done still. I actually don't have too much to say about this piece. I just really liked it. I do remember though, he had us all stand out in the hall, and like he put them all up in order from best to worst. And I was 4th, and I was like, what? Because I was literally like the 4th drawing, I believe. And I was like, this seems wrong. Especially after coming off of that, I was like, no. I do feel like I did peak at the start of this class though, and then it was just like all downhill. But yeah. Another thing I have to say though, that I forgot is about this class that I really liked was we, like, I don't know what it was about this teacher, but he made us all feel dumb. I don't know. I feel like I felt dumb. All the talented people felt dumb as well, so it was like we all felt equally dumb. So I didn't feel like the people who were way better than me were way better than me because they felt just as dumb as me. So I did like that about this class and about this teacher. And like, he kind of did make the point that like, you know, you all are able to learn how to draw, you're gonna all know how to draw by the end of this. So I have to say, I really did love this teacher, but he did scare me for this whole first semester. Let me get the second piece though. And it's this, oh god, we need more space. So here he is, and it's just a Sharpie. And the only problem with this piece that you guys can't see, thanks goodness to my camera, is you can still see the grid, and this ended up being an issue, and I finally fixed it, I think at like the end of drawing 2. But you can see the grid, and little did I know that this would be the struggle of drawing lightly. I'm so bad at drawing light. But yeah, this was the first piece I did. I like it a lot. I think it looks very interesting. I don't have too much to say about this piece. So the next piece we did was like kind of like free-handed. We basically just had to do it. He set up a chair and a plant, and I think we drew it for a week or two, and by the end of the 2 weeks I never wanted to see the plant again. I did not care. And basically we had to leave this piece for the tree and the plant. This is how I think I did pretty good. Like that says plant and tree. I mean, it wasn't that great. I think you can, what did I use a grid on? Oh no, it's just my pencil lines. I had really dark pencil lines. It's still a problem, but I think I did pretty well. Okay, so this next piece was like a cross-hatching piece. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And we had to draw some objects we brought, so I ended up drawing this, and the objects I brought was, you can't tell, oh my god, let me show you first. Okay, so here's the piece. I'm hoping you can see it. Yeah. And basically, we had to draw objects we brought, so this is my hat, and then I brought a blanket and some books, and then my friend Honda, who was my friend in this class, she found this in the room and this lamp, and we drew the same thing. And I had no idea what I was doing. No idea how to crotch etch. And looking back on this, it looks horrible, but this is probably one of my worst pieces. I actually think it was my worst piece for that whole semester. I think I got like a 70 on this. And I remember like halfway through the semester, he was like, you can fix your grade if you want to fix it. And I was like, I never want to touch that piece again. I had no idea what I was supposed to do though. And I just tried my best. Also, I'm incredibly dumb because I'm trying not to friend these, but I remember specifically, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the chair, and I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? Or something like that. And he was like, just draw your seat, and like, mind blown, because I never thought that drawing, you literally have to just try to like copy what you see, and my mind was just like, yeah, that was before my worst drawing, and I just remember hated cross-hatching because it felt so tedious with the pen. But yeah, anyways, back to the next piece. I actually don't remember what was next after this one. Oh no, I do. So he had us in pen for the whole half of the semester. This was the first drawing we didn't do in pen, and I was so happy because pen was so tedious. And we did charcoal. I need to spray these. I'm trying not to get charcoal everywhere right now, and it's a challenge. But so this was the second piece we did. Basically, he set up this. I'm just letting you guys see it. But basically, he set up this skeleton. It's hard to kind of show both. I don't have pictures of everything I did either, so. But basically, he set up the skeleton and then had us draw it from like pencil measuring and just like looking, and I did a pretty good job. I think he told me proportions were good, but then later he's like, dude, your skeleton had like 2 shades. And looking at it now, it does, but I didn't know how to shade. Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. Like, I remember looking at this and being like, I did so well. But looking at it now, I did so bad, and there was a lot of spots I definitely could have gone darker and like better with the contrast, but at the time, I remember I was just so proud I did it. A lot of this class, I don't know if he thought I'd drawn before. I feel like with the first drawing he should have known I don't, but I was impressed with myself even just doing this, so I was like very happy. But at the time, this was literally the best I could do, so I'm kind of proud of this one. This one must have been in the hall or somewhere because it has little holes. See, that's how I know if they got hung up or not, because they'll have holes in the corner. Okay, so this was like our midterm, and basically our midterm was we had to draw something in 3 hours, and we had 3 hours to draw it and shade it and everything, and I was terrified. But one of the things I do remember after the first day in this class when I froze up was what I told myself was, you're not gonna freeze up again, because I like doing something honestly in these classes is better than doing nothing. So just try your best. And like honestly, I did it for the rest of this class. Even if it was horrible, I just tried to do something so I didn't end up with a blank page. And I was so scared of this because I knew I drew slow and I knew I was gonna have to go quick. And he told me I did a good job. Looking at this now, it looks like a bunch of scribbles, so you know, I think he was lying. But so this was a piece I did for my midterm. He set up some weird objects. I think this was like a drill thing. This was a mannequin. She should have been way darker. And don't know what the heck else was back there. I did a great job. I can't even tell what there was. I can't even tell it where in the room this was, which should say everything it needs to say. But I think I did pretty well. This drawing was done completely in 3 hours. It does look like scribbles, but I was nervous on top of everything. But yeah, let's get another piece. I need to spray all these because I'm getting charcoal everywhere. Okay, so now I believe this was the next piece. I'm not 100% sure. So we had to draw the hallway, and he had us in different parts of the hallway, and we would set up, and we were supposed to draw it using perspective. Basically, we were supposed to draw a hallway. We never finished it. No one in my class ever finished it. We were all confused. Like, I think my friend understood like the basic thing of like perspective, but then he was having us count tiles, and I was just like, can't we just draw some squares and call them tiles? I was a bad student, in case you can't tell. I'm trying to make sure you can see. But basically, he gave up, I think, after like the second week of us sitting in the hall having no idea what we're doing. I feel like perspective, now that I know more about it, makes sense, because you draw a line, you make the lines coming out of the line, and make all the lines connect to the line. But why were we counting the tiles? See, that's what I didn't understand, and I think that's what confused my whole class, was he was like, well, you count the tiles, and then you do all this, and I think all of us were like, what? What the heck? I think it was around this time too, was I remember this so vividly. He took us into his office to give us an update on our grades. It might have been actually a couple after this one, a couple drawings after, but I remember he took me into his office and he was gonna tell us about our grades, and I was like, I have a C. There's no way I don't have a C. He also made it, I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like I was failing the whole semester. Like, I literally felt like I was failing the whole semester, and I'm like, it's a miracle if I passed. So when he sat me down in his office, it was like, well, you have a B, but you should have an A. I was like, hold up, I have a B. And I was just so happy with my B, honestly. I was like, I didn't think I was gonna get a C. And I had a B. I did end up getting a B in this class, but I'm gonna finish showing you the pieces from this class because I have a couple more. Also, I don't remember when this happened, but we did a nude model, and I gave those drawings to my teacher because they were kind of bad. I also just kind of didn't want them. So instead of burning them, he said he uses some examples. I assume mine will be examples of what not to do. So I gave them back to him. But we did a nude model, and I remember, because he told us, and I remember reading in the syllabus that there was a warning that we would probably have like nude models at some point, and he was actively trying the whole semester to get it. It was towards the very end, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, and it's probably not what you're thinking either. I feel like if you're not used to like drawing and stuff, it's like you don't really realize the person is naked because you're too busy panicking on if you're shading right. And my teacher was so intense that day. I remember a couple of my friends afterwards were like, did you see like how intense he was? Like, it was a wild day. I loved our class. It was wild. We were all kind of like low-key friends. It was just like such a good vibe, such a good vibe. Art class vibes are unmatched. I loved this class. I also feel like I learned a lot from this class. It was just like a lot of information at once, and it took me a couple, I think after I finished this class, and then I kind of had time, like, I think I took this in December, so I had like a little bit of a break to kind of mess around with it. And I also didn't take drawing 2 like right after this one, so I had time to like, you know, actually, you know, remember what he told me and actually kind of like realize what I was supposed to do. I feel like I was kind of very lost in this class, but yeah. Okay, so I think this drawing was before the whole way drawing. And basically this was to teach us about perspective too, but a girl told me exactly what to do. So I don't know exactly what we were supposed to be doing, but basically we had to draw this man in some kind of perspective. And this is like actually one of my best drawings, but I just remember I was a day late, and the reason why I was a day late, I remember telling my parents, I told my teacher that I was gonna be late, but I was just still terrified of him at this point. I don't know why. But I didn't want to tell him because I think it was at the start of the semester he told us like, don't tell us, like, don't, like, you can't just use random things as an excuse as to why you're missing class. So I went to see Taylor Swift, and we were supposed to be back by that Monday, but something ended up happening, and it was just too many hours, we couldn't drive it, and I ended up coming back Tuesday, and I was like back for class on Tuesday because like we came home Monday, but we were driving home Monday, so I didn't make it to class. And I was so worried because I'm like, oh my god, what if I miss anything? And I could have texted him because I had his phone number that, hey, I'm not going to be there. But it just felt like a horrible excuse to say, I went to see Taylor Swift in California. I'm not going to be in class. And it was the one, I think I only missed like one day of this class. And it was the day that they started doing this drawing. And I came for the second day of this drawing on Wednesday. And some girl caught me up completely. And I got a good grade. And I wasn't behind, so it was great. And it worked out. So I think we're down to like the last 5 drawings. I did a lot of drawings. So this was a 16-week class. It was a lot of drawing. I just remembering I literally had no free time until I think I had like 1 or 2 free weekends this whole time during class. I was such a slow drawer. Okay, and then the next drawing we did was this one that we had to do of a Roman statue. And I forgot what this is called. Oh, contour lines. There it is. There we go. And we had to draw a man with contour lines. I don't think I did the best on this one either, but I did try. It looks cooler in the camera, but in real life, you can see all my pencil lines. I would always use grids because I was bad at drawing. You guys can kind of see them there. But it always backfired because I could never erase them because I had such a heavy hand. Also, I'm gonna spray these very soon because there's charcoal all over this one, and it's not supposed to have charcoal. Eep. Let me get my eraser. Oh, cool. It's gonna come off. Awesome. But yeah, I don't like this piece that much, but I did it. Yay. Okay, so we're on the last 2, and this is probably my favorite piece I did in the whole class. Like, the whole drawing one. This was the best I did. So he was teaching us how to do a carbon transfer, and if you don't know what that is, basically you just you put a piece of paper with the image on it over it, and then you draw it in, and then you're able to shade it where you're supposed to. And this gave me such a guide of where I was supposed to do things that I did a great job. I'm maybe praying you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see. You guys can see me in the corner. But yeah, so this is the drawing I was most proud of. Also, this is one of my teacher's sculptures he had us draw. He brought it in. I thought it was the creepiest thing because I have like a snake head on it. You can probably, maybe you can tell with my drawing skills, but there's a snake head. He also had a braid on the side that had real hair. Very proud of this one. Very proud. So this is one of the last drawings we did, and then the very last thing I did have is my final, and I decided to draw seals for a final. I think he wanted us to do something meaningful or something. And he was like, you can draw anything you want. And I don't know, seals are my favorite animal, and I just remember being like, I want to draw a seal. Don't know why. I just wanted to draw a seal. So we also had to include a bit of perspective. He gave us a list of everything we had to include. So these cubes in the back were supposed to be my perspective. But here's the seals I drew. Okay, you guys can even see the problem with these guys. You can see the grid. I decided to go square by square and draw everything in for these guys because I wanted them to be as realistic as possible. Ignore me in the corner. So I literally went square by square and drew everything in and tried to make it as exact as possible. But I also drew the grid so hard. So literally the problem with this piece, and I hate it, is that you can see the grid. So that was it for drawing 1, and that was everything I did. Like I said, I ended up getting a B in this class. I think I learned the most in this class out of all my art classes, probably because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I think I did pretty well overall. Like I said, I think all the pieces I did was the best I could do probably for at the time, but yeah. Okay, so that was everything for drawing 1. But the next class I'm going to be talking about, which was the second class I was taking at the same time as this class, but I took it on Tuesday, Thursdays, was Design 1. And the teacher for this class was interesting. He was very nice, but I don't know what the point of this class was. Like, it was like to learn the basic elements of design. Either I already knew a lot of the elements of design, or it just was such a basic class. And you'll see what I'm saying with the pieces. So the very first piece we did, like, first day. So the first piece we did was this one. And basically we just had to do a grayscale, which is super easy. And then this would just show how different, like, the gray looks with black versus how the gray looks with white. And yeah, that was basically it. The only thing I have to say is on all of these, I didn't know. See, this is kind of what drove me insane about this teacher, is he was very chill and all, but I wish he would have just told us tips like, hey, you know, tape off around where you drew the certain square because it'll make it look cleaner. He didn't tell us. I ended up just using tape on my own. So this is my second piece for this class, and what we had to do was a closed, oh wait, we had to just leave the border, and then we had to do like an open composition, and we had to just draw straight lines across and then paint them different shades of gray. I forget what the point of this one was. I don't know. I still don't know, and I don't know what to do with any of these, but we just had to paint them different shades of gray. Also, I always ended up finishing these in one day of class, because classes are 3 hours when they're even design classes, so it would be like 3 hours, and they'd be there, and I would finish them in a day. So I would ask him like, hey, do I have to come like on Thursday because I finished? And I got to be in this class, and I literally think it was just because I basically went one day of the week. I didn't know what to fix. I didn't know what to do. I wish he gave me clearer instructions so I knew what I was doing. Like, yeah. I don't remember what the point of this one was, but it had to be in shades of gray. Oh, it's a closed composition with nothing touching the sides or something like that, and it has organic and regular shapes. And it was a whole semester of basically this. See, this one's an open composition with organic shapes because they go past where the edge is. See, there's not like a clean edge like this one. But the thing is, I used to do these in a day, and he would just tell us to do shapes, and I don't know if we were supposed to do like drawings and things, but as you can see when I was taking this class, because I took it the same time as drawing one, my drawing skill wasn't there. I also was struggling to get the paint to work for me. You guys kind of can see it. But yeah, so this one was a organic shape, not touching the edges, in black and white. I don't remember the point of this one either. I don't remember the point of half of these. I just know they were all in black and white. I believe this one we had to paint the background black and white. This one had lines in the background and then shapes on top, organic shapes. Squiggles in the background, regular shapes. I can't say I learned much in this class. He had us do a color wheel when we finally got to color. And like I said, I painted so messy, but I had such a problem staying inside the lines. Also, I always was so embarrassed to clean my brushes, so half my brushes for this class got so hard, like, after the first week. So I was working with, like, 2 brushes. But then we finally got to color, and we had to do a monochromatic... I think we just had to do a monochromatic piece that was one color, and he didn't care, so I did this. Yep. I really don't have much to say about these. I forgot what this one was, but I drew a dinosaur. It was organic shapes, and dinosaurs are an organic shape, which I realized afterwards I could have drawn whatever I wanted for organic shapes. I'm dumb. But then this one, I forgot what this one was. There was purposes with the colors. I don't remember. I don't feel like I learned anything in this class. I was just having a fun time painting. Okay, this is one of the ones from the black and white ones. I literally don't remember what this was for. It was definitely... This might have just been like only straight lines is my guess by the look of it. I don't know. Everyone in my class was doing like the same kind of vibe where we just did shapes. And I don't know what the point of any of it was. And then we did a color chart. This is kind of helpful though, because basically you have all the colors, like all your colors. And he also gave us the colors so we didn't have to buy them, which was nice of him. He was a cool dude, and he seemed like a cool dude. I just kind of wish he gave clearer instructions and told me what to do more. And like gave me tips if I was doing something wrong. But yeah, he was good. So this was just all the colors. These are all the colors tinted with gray. Is tinted the right word? That's what I was supposed to learn in this class and I forgot. So, and then I believe this is tinted with white. White is tinted. I forget what gray is. Then you have it with, one of these is with black, and I believe this one on the bottom is with the color that's across from them. So like their complementary color, you mix it in and it'll make like a brown. So this chart is kind of helpful. The only other work I had for this class was our midterm, and I have to go get my other midterm because my other midterm's actually right there. But we had to do this piece that was like, you had to make a little like stencil, and then you'd have to draw it a bunch of times, and then you'd paint them all in different shades of gray, and you do like a gradient. So you start at like white, and then you'd go to black, and then you go back to white. But this is actually my failed one because I hated how these ghosts look. See, it was at this point in the class when I kind of just started having fun with it because I didn't know what to do. And I actually ended up redoing it. Let's go on an adventure to go look at it because I'm not going to take it down. Okay, so I have this one over here by my in my art wall. But this is what I ended up fixing it so it looked like. So like my ghost looked like this. I also taped off the edges. This is when I was like, why the heck don't I just use tape? And then I did it, and I love how these ghosts turned out. I don't know if he appreciated my shape. My friend just did this weird star shape and I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna make something ridiculous, I'm gonna make it look cute. So yeah, this is what I did. Yep. I like it. The other one I did was, this was our final. We did this. We basically had to make a squiggle stencil just like we did for the midterm, and we put it on different spots, and he had us roll a dice. So this piece was very fun. Like I said, he seemed like a cool dude with cool ideas. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know. But yeah. And then we had to choose colors that I believe were next to each other on the color wheel. Put them in, and then you had to do one the opposite, so I did blue, because orange and blue are complementary colors. And then we had to choose 2 shades of gray, and then we would roll dice for where the colors were, I believe, too. I want to go over it with a couple more layers, because it's kind of see-through. I barely finished this in time for the final 2. All my finals were so last minute. So the semester after this, I couldn't get into drawing 2. I signed up too late. I was trying to get into drawing 2 because I knew some people from drawing 1 who were going to take drawing 2, and I'm like, oh, I want to take it at the same time as them. But I signed up too late. I didn't get to. So I ended up taking design 2 and painting 1. This was also the semester, like after the first semester of taking art classes, I was like, man, I want to do art. Like, this is what I want to do. Because I know like a lot of people sometimes ask, like, because when you're in college, like, how do you figure out what you want to do? And I feel like for me, it was just being in these classes and seeing what everyone was doing. I was like, this is what I want to do. So I decided to take painting 1 for my elective. I think I had an elective. I don't even know if I had an elective. But I decided to take painting 1, and then I took design 2. And I guess we will start with painting 1 because it was my first class. I ended up taking painting 1 with the same teacher, and let me go get some of my work from the class because I forgot to bring it. Okay, so I was super excited for painting 1 because as you can kind of tell behind me, I painted before. And I've been interested in painting. Actually, at this point, I think I was leaning a little bit towards being maybe a painting major. Right away, like the first thing we did in this class was we did some, like, another grayscale, which is just when you go from black to white with like grays in between. We had to do 10 shades. And the first piece we did with the gray was we painted a crushed car. All of these are 18 by 24, which is why they look a little big. But we painted this crushed car, and I think I did really well. According to my teacher, he said I did the best in class, but I still don't believe him. This is probably the best painting from that class, because it goes downhill. Yeah, I think I did really well, and I think, because of the break between the fall and spring semester, I had time to figure out values and things that I feel like it finally clicked with this painting, and everything kind of made sense. And I did well. I'm really proud of this one. So the second piece we had to do, we did in color, and for the second painting, we were allowed to do whatever subject we want because the student art show was coming up, so we were expected to enter this piece into the art show, and I did enter this piece. I got in the show, but I hate it. So he encouraged me to us to go bigger, and I decided to do a 3-foot painting, so it's 3 feet tall, and I'm gonna go grab it, but boy, I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm gonna show this. But this was the, wait, it is so hard to show this, but this was the second painting I did. I'll show you guys better in a second, but basically it's 3 foot by 24, I believe. We were allowed to do whatever we want, and I did this, and I don't know why. I panicked, okay? I panicked. I'll tell you about that once I finish showing you, but I had to do the complementary colors, so I did orange and blue, and this background is actually, by my grandma's house, and I just did it like in some weird style. I don't know what I was doing. I really panicked with this piece, but yeah. And I stole this from a photo of my sister at the stop sign by my grandma's house, and I stuck a chameleon on it. But this wasn't my original idea. I panicked into this, and I'll tell you that in a second when I can sit down and tell you, but here's the painting. It's so big. I don't know how I'm gonna show this to you, but like, okay, I'm gonna put this back. So he gave us this paper, and it was to help us brainstorm ideas for the art show, and I don't know if he told us we had to have an idea yet at this point. I just remember coming into class on Monday, we were getting like our new assignments or something, and then he had us all go in a room, and he told us about the art show, and he gave us a piece of paper that we were supposed to answer some questions, and we didn't have to answer them all. We answered them privately, and then it was gonna help us with get our idea or something. I don't know, just some of the questions on that gave me a crisis. And I remember I nearly cried in class. It was so embarrassing. And I was just there and I couldn't answer any of them. I think the only one I could answer was like, are you religious? And I was like, yeah, I'm religious. The truth is, like, my family was going through some stuff before that, and then so when I went to class and I saw all these questions, I just had a crisis. And I was like, oh my god, what the heck happened? And like the whole past 5 years of my life, just like, I was like, oh my god. And I literally had a crisis in class. I was like, oh my god. And so thank you for that. So I decided to do the chameleon basically out of panic, and my teacher just being like, just choose something. And I just panic chose that, and I panic started it too. It was a great panic painting, that's what I'm calling it. And I mean, it turned out good, but I know I could have done better and come up with a better topic, but I was also spiraling, so you know, fun. We were supposed to finish that the week after spring break, I believe. And spring break hit, Corona hit, we got 2 weeks of spring break, and I honestly was hoping we would go back. And then we went to online learning. And I finished my painting. The next painting we did was self-portrait. I'm not gonna show you guys because I hate it. And I painted it in 3 days. Basically, I feel like I learned a lot and did a lot, like, with the first painting. And then when we went to the second painting, it was like, you know, like getting better, you know, getting painting tips and things. I don't know, I felt like I was learning things in class. And then basically we went online and it was just like, just complete the assignment so you pass the class. I mean, like, I don't know, I just felt like he was telling me I was doing good when I wasn't doing good. This was probably the worst class I took, painting. I feel like I learned absolutely nothing. I feel like I started to learn stuff with this guy, and then it just went all down the hill when we went online, and it was no fun. But I'll show you the last painting in this class, which also gave me a crisis. See, painting 1 was just like, let's give her a crisis. And he had us do a painting on the coronavirus. And when I tell you I was not ready to do a painting on the coronavirus, I was not ready to. I know I could have done just like some, like, I don't know, just like, I can't say the word because it's technically cursing, you know, just like made something up and done something ridiculous, but I didn't want to. I obviously wanted to try my best, and I had a crisis. So we had 3 weeks to do the painting. I spent 2 of those weeks crying and trying to come up with an idea, and spent 1 week painting it. Not even 1 week, it was like 3 days, because I knew I could paint a painting in 3 days. It was like no big deal. But I spent 3 weeks crying and trying to come up with an idea, but I don't know, the coronavirus really messed some stuff up for me, so I was like, I don't want to paint this. And I remember because we had his phone number so we could text him whenever, which was like his mistake because I annoyed him quite a bit. But I texted him like, can I please paint something else? Like, why? And I know that we're artists and like whatever, but like, why? You know? And he told me I could paint abstract, but I hate abstract. Like, well, I don't hate abstract. I respect the people who do abstract, but I find it incredibly hard. So I didn't do abstract. I decided to just go for it and make a ridiculous painting, which is exactly what I did. But the very last painting I did was this coronavirus painting, which I basically put coronaviruses outside. This was the best I could do with my crisis, but like, coronaviruses outside that are horribly painted. Then a room, and it's supposed to be like this man, this little ghost man. I couldn't draw people, so ghost man. And there's a couch, a chair, and he's basically just stuck in it pacing around. And it's a ridiculous painting. Oh wow, on the back you can see all of my almost ideas. I remember because we had to call him, and I called him, and then he was like, it's interesting. I'm like, you can say it's bad. So painting was probably the worst class, like I said, I took. It was horrible. I feel like I learned a lot at the start, and then the pandemic just came, and it was just like, you don't learn anything. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was just frustrated the whole time. So the other class I was taking at this time that I absolutely loved. I loved this class so much. It was so fun. At least I was having fun with it. So the second class I had was Design 2. And basically in that class, we were using the elements of the design in the 3D world. And the thing is, I'm pretty good at 3D stuff, so I was pretty good in this class, I feel. Even if my teachers don't agree, I think I did well. And the first thing we had to do was we had to make a bird. I don't know why. She had us all choose a bird out of wire, and I'm guessing you can see my child back there. I'll take you closer to him, but I made a bird out of wire, and I chose a toucan because I thought they're cute, and yeah. And it was, that piece was really fun to do. The only thing is the wire made my hands hurt, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I think I did a good job. I'm gonna go take you closer. Okay, so we are closer, so we're gonna take this off for a second. This was a hat that one of my the kids from church made me. I used to altar serve at our church, if you know what that is, and one of the ones I altar served with made me this, so I stuck it on my toucan, but we'll take it off for a second. So this is my toucan. He has So he's a wiry mess. I just basically balled up the wire and made a toucan shape. I'm trying to show you. I think the best place to show you is here because there's a wall behind him. And then I put a little bit of blue around his eye, and then he has yellow wire wrapped around here, and then feet are blue. My teacher said she didn't like the blue feet because it distracted from the eye, but I didn't care. Actually, I hated it because we had to present these in front of the class. It was the most nerve-wracking thing. And she bet my toucan. She was like, he would look better in motion. Snapped him forward, and I was like, oh my god. It was the worst thing. But yeah, so here's my toucan. I'm so proud of him. He's fun. I should have named him. He doesn't have a name. If you think any good names for the toucan, let me know. But I think I did pretty good on this. I mean, if you look at this, you're gonna think toucan. I mean, my proportions aren't perfect, but I had, what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks for this? So I think not too bad for my first time with wire. I made him in class, so I was taking this class at the same time as painting, so you know it's gonna hit at some point. But so I did 2 pieces in class before we went online. So I did the toucan. It was absolutely fun and amazing. We all did really cool birds. I think the girl who did the best in the class was this girl who made this big swan, and it was like super cool. My toucan couldn't compare, but I tried my best. And then my second piece was actually behind me as well. It's right there. So that's a piece I didn't design too, and I'll take you over to see it in a second. But it actually also got me second in the art show, I think. Second, because it's best in show, first place, second place. So it's technically third place, but we'll call it second place. And yeah, so I did that, and basically what our assignment for that was we had to break something apart and then put it back together and use 80% of the stuff we used and put it back together to make a cool thing in a box, basically, and then we spray paint it. So I'm gonna go take you over to show it. I absolutely love this piece. I had so much fun doing it, and I think I did majority of it at home because it's when the painting crisis hit. Yeah, I remember sitting in class and I was supposed to be working on that, and I was just like having a crisis, but it was good times. And yeah, so I'm gonna go take you to go see it. Here it is. So there's a funny story about this piece, and I'll tell you when I go sit down back down, but here's what I did. And I'm so proud of it. I'm super proud of it. I think it turned out amazing, and like I said, I did the majority of it at home, but I'm really proud of it. I entered in the art show, it got second. It was a good piece, but the thing about the piece is how I said that we had to like find a something to destroy and put back together. I destroyed a cuckoo clock, and funny story about the cuckoo clock is I couldn't find anything to destroy. Like, what the heck am I gonna destroy? So the friend I had in that class was Adele, and she did a basket. I knew a girl who did CDs and cassettes and looked cool. Some dude took apart a baby crib. It was like a like a small baby crib, not like a baby crib, but someone did like a speaker. I just didn't know what I was gonna do yet, and like we would talk, obviously, like, hey, what you gonna do? And I had no idea. Because we had to build a box first, so there was like a week in class where it was like a day where we were building boxes and we didn't need what we needed yet. So we were all discussing what we had. And then, so we were going to various thrift stores because I literally couldn't find anything to break. And then my mom said that someone she saw at church left their cuckoo clock there. And I was like, oh cool, it's old, I can break it. I ended up breaking it. It was almost done glued together. I actually think it was done and glued together. And then someone at my church comes looking for a cuckoo clock, and I'm like, oh no. And it turns out some lady had a fight with her son, one of the ladies at church, and she had a fight with her son, and then the clock broke, so she took the clock to the church, so it would be safe. And then my mom found it, gave it to me, and I destroyed it, and I felt so bad. In fact, she told my mom not to tell me because I made art with it anyways, and she liked it, but I feel so bad still. Because I destroyed it, and yeah, I just destroyed it, her clock, and I felt bad. And apparently it was also a $250 cuckoo clock that I destroyed. Yeah, I named it Elisa's clock because it was her clock and I destroyed it, and I felt so bad because she broke her arm in the fight with her son, and I destroyed her clock. So yeah, but after the clock we went online, and basically anything cool we were gonna do now got moved online, and we didn't do that many cool things, which sucked. But because like at my school they would put a lot of the art in the hallway, so I saw like what I was eventually gonna get to do and I now didn't get to do. So the second thing, the first thing we did online was we had to make this model of a thing we were gonna make with wood. We ended up just having to finish the model because we could no longer do it with wood because half of us didn't have the supplies to do it with wood. And then what was the second thing we did? Also, my teacher, when I went to pick up the toucan and the thing at the start of the pandemic, she told me that she wasn't gonna count anything as late as long as everything was in by the end of the semester. So everything was late. Like literally every piece I did after that one was late, I think. Same thing with painting. The first painting was on time. I think I did the Chameleon was late by a day. Self-portrait was late by a day. I think coronavirus was late. Like they were all late by a day. I don't know what happened. So then the second thing we had to do is we had to make a virus out of foam. I don't really have anything to say about this, but it was. So we had to make a virus out of foam, and it was like had to be big. And we had to make a part where the virus was like being destroyed. And it didn't have to be a real virus because I was so confused because I was like, oh cool, we just copy a virus we see. So I looked online for a virus photo. I sent it to my teacher. She's like, no, you're supposed to come up with your own, send me doodles. And I was like, the heck? Almost dropped it. I never sent her doodles either. I'm such a bad student. But I just came up with it. I did like some stars. And then I carved in these squiggles. And I made it a circle. And yeah, but I carved them in. And that was it. This was a weird piece. I think I got a good grade. The only other thing was we had to do it like the try something colors where they're like this on the color wheel, like a triangle. And I did dark blue, this reddy color. You could tint it with white, so I tinted it with white. That's why some of these are lighter. And then I did green. And yeah. I don't have much to say on that piece at all. You may have seen this floating around my room before because I don't know where to put it. The last thing we had to do, and I'm so done with this one, is she told us we had to wrap something, any object, in something, and then just turn it in. So I'm dumb because everyone just got tissue paper and just wrapped it around the shape and was like, it's done. And it probably took them like an hour. I spent a week doing this. So I got one of this guitar that was, I think, my brother's. He doesn't play guitar. My dad was like hoping he would. And it's broken. It has a crack down here, which you can't see because I covered it, but it's broken. And I covered it completely using Mod Podge and basically text from old highlights magazines. I covered it completely. But I did all this work and everyone else just got wrapping paper and like wrapped lamps and things, and I was like, I'm so dumb, I could have wrapped something. But I did this. I do think it looks kind of cool though. I got a good grade. I think in the design too I got an A. I don't trust my grades though from when the pandemic was, because in painting I got an A too. But I don't know if everyone was just being nice because a global pandemic was happening, so yeah. So that was it for those two classes. Like I said, the pandemic came, so I can't say anything because once it was online I was just frustrated and everything was late, so you know. The very last class I had to take was drawing 2, and this class we kind of did it hybrid at the start, so once every 2 weeks we would go to class to turn in work as well as like get some instruction. So that was cool, but that like ended after a certain amount of time. The first 4 drawings I'm going to show you I don't have. So we're gonna work with pictures. So the very first drawing I had to do was a big doodle, kind of once again to see where we were at with our drawing skills, and we just had to do a big abstract doodle. I may have forgot about the abstract because so here's the first drawing I did, the first one I turned in, and I'm gonna have to sit very in the middle because this one I started, I have a photo of it and I showed it in my was it April wrap up, because I finished in this April. But this one I started and I was like, yes, I'm on time, because we only had a week to do it, and it's a lot of doodling, oh my god, but we only had a week to do it. I started doing this, it was at this point, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna finish in time. I had it all drawn out, I had a plan, and then on Friday I checked Blackboard, which is what we did our school on. When it checked Blackboard, and my teacher had a Zoom meeting, and only 3 of us from the class went. Oh, I just said my real name again. Oh my god. Hey, like Ginger or whatever. How's your drawing coming along? It's abstract, right? Because I guess someone else who went forgot it was abstract, and I was like, oh yeah, it's abstract. It doesn't have anything that's gonna be objective. That's what he asked me, and I was like, oh my god. And I had a flash. I forgot those things look like bubbles, and I forgot bubbles are objects, and I tried to argue with him. I was like, well, it's just a tiny thing, like obviously I won't do it anymore. And he was like, no, you have to start over. And I was like, oh god. It was 3 days before it was due, and I was like I could have finished that in 3 days, but now I had to start over. And I literally spent the next 3 days just drawing. I literally remember that. I got off the call, I told my friends I'd restart. I was so frustrated, and then I basically cried for an hour, and then I was just like, you know what, I have to do this. Like, I don't have a decision. I'm not showing up to class with nothing. And then I was so worried because this was drawing 2 and everything was gonna be amazing. So I did this. I did it in 3 days. I basically just stayed up literally from where I got up this morning. I only took breaks to eat food and just nonstop drawing. I even woke up the day it was due early, finished it, and went to class. And I also remember my teacher's argument for this was he was being fair to me because he told some other kid he had to restart his too. I get to class and the other kid who had to restart it literally got a pencil, so he didn't even put it in pen, and he just did like big swirls, like, I kid you not, just like big swirls on a page in pencil, and he didn't even do it. I do think that the doodle, like the one I turned in, so this one wasn't the best I could do, but I had 3 days and I was so upset when I saw that the other kid who had to redo his didn't even do it because it was like so tight with the time crunch that he just turned in that. And I don't know what grade that kid got, but I swear if he got a passing, not a passing, but just it was the most frustrating thing. So drawing 2 went with a good start, and then the second drawing I did for drawing 2 was this eyeball, which we did with soft pastels, and I did it again to myself here. So I started this eyeball, which was a snake eyeball. This one was supposed to be the one I was doing, and I worked on it all week. And then there's some lines that are supposed to go in the middle of that eye that I could not get to go over it with a lighter color, so I messed up. I didn't know how to use the pastel, and I messed up. And the thing is, it was allowed to be majority pastel, but we had to use we could use other mediums like pencils if we needed to. And I think I can fix the problem with the yellow in the eye, but I'm not going to be able to use drawing medium. So I actually still have a drawing, and I'm going to try to finish it this month, but basically I couldn't finish it with the pastels, and I didn't want to ruin it, obviously, so I started completely over. I believe it was the day before it was due, and I did this, and you can see the grid, and it's not my greatest, but you know what, I think I got like I don't know what I got. I ended up getting an A in drawing 2 though. So I did that. I don't have much to say about that drawing other than I tortured myself a second time. Okay, so then the third drawing we had to do for drawing 2 was this drawing, which we had to draw naked people, but it's not naked, like nude models for human figure or whatever. We had to do it in the style of I don't have these drawings either, of the like masters, so I had to do, I know one was Michelangelo, this one's Michelangelo, and then we had to do this other dude who was, I forget his name, him and him. I'll put the names in, but I didn't do that great of a job on the last one. I have no idea what I was doing, but you know, I tried. So yeah, I did those. Not much to say about those. And then the very last drawing I did that I don't have is this turtle, which was supposed to be hyper-realism, so it was supposed to look really realistic of a turtle. And yeah, there's not much to say about this one. I do remember struggling though because I'm dyslexic, fun fact. And with the grid, I don't know what happened. I was so stressed this week, and I was having problems with the line, like the line in the grid that I was supposed to draw. In the other grid, I kept miscounting, as well as when I would draw the line, I would draw it the wrong way. I don't know if that's a thing with dyslexic people who draw. If you're dyslexic and you draw, you use a grid. Have you ever done that? Where like line's supposed to go this way, but then you accidentally draw it this way? Because I did that so many times. It was like the most frustrating thing. The next drawing I did for this class was we had to do with an alternative medium, and I thought it was gonna be fun because I'm a limmer to do a drawing with bands. So I did this with bands, and I don't, it's a photo because I had to set all the bands out like this, and then I used a glue stick to hold down like what her lines of her belt and stuff were, and then I basically took a photo of it and I had to destroy it. But it was fun. This piece was fun. I had a lot of fun with this one. She told me I could have done more, but I like it, so yeah. So the other drawing I did, this one, was 3-point perspective, and we had to draw a city. This one was just, it was like fine. It wasn't that hard. I remember I had a lot of free time in this week. It was pretty easy. It was just tedious, so you know. And it's a 3-point perspective city with that ugly lake in the background. So basically I realized that I wasn't gonna get to fill the rest of the space up in the city with buildings because I ran out of time, and I drew some things that I was hoping would look like trees and a lake, but they look absolutely horrible. But look, this half of the drawing's cool. Yeah. And then the next drawing we did was, shoot, what was it? Oh, I only have 3 left. Okay, so this drawing was supposed to be, you know how the other one I showed you had contour lines going this way? It was supposed to have contour lines going like vertical and horizontal. I didn't do it exactly right, but I tried my best. So this is how it came out. It's a skull with like a fluffy thing and on some books, in case you couldn't tell with my horrible line work. And basically, I didn't like it. To me, it still doesn't look finished. It looks like it needs something. But I told my teacher, like, hey, what can I do to make it look, like, more finished? And he told me that I should have probably used perspective to make it look more finished, but he didn't show me how. And then when after we talked, I basically was stuck with this, and I couldn't do anything to fix it, which was frustrating because he's like, oh, you should have done this and this, which you know, he could show you how to do if you're in class, but we were online. And the very last piece I did was my final. And the final, basically all we had to do was we were allowed to, I believe, do any subject we want. We had to use 3 mediums and 3 methods he showed us in the semester. So let me get... So this is the very last drawing for this video, so... The very last thing I did was the snake on an apple. It was just a photo I liked. I added roses in the corner, and basically for the 3, we had to do 3 mediums, so I did charcoal, pen, and colored pencil. And then for the 3 methods, I used contour lines, grid, and something else. I forget what my 3rd one was. I really forget, but I actually like this piece. I think I could have done a little better on the snake, but yeah, he's decent. He looks cute. So drawing 2 was good. It was just a stressful time. Honestly, it felt like I was taking that class just so I could finish and graduate, and I did graduate, but you know, I don't feel like I learned too much in that class. It wasn't the greatest class, and that teacher, which is, so drawing 2 and, like I said, painting were with the same teacher who I took drawing 1 with, which was my absolute favorite class. He was such a good teacher, but online he was not the best, and it was very confusing. I could tell he was trying. I mean, everyone's trying, but I don't feel like I learned anything. Yeah, so that was everything I made while I was at my community college. I did love the college. Honestly, the whole time I was there, it was amazing. I had nothing but good teachers. I had one bad teacher the whole time I was there, and it was my speech teacher. So I hope you enjoyed this video of me going through absolutely everything I made. I know it's ridiculously long, but like I said, this video is mainly for me, so I can look back and see everything I made and like my thoughts on everything. But yeah, I did love my school, and it was weird because like I was obviously doing hybrid classes when everything shut down again because my class were getting sick, and it was just weird because I didn't have an official last day. It was just like, oh, one day I was going for drawing 2 and the next day that was it. So that was weird. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything. My life's work right there. Like I said, I can't wait to continue making things because I feel like I can do so much better now. I don't think I have anything else to say, really. So subscribe to see more videos from me. I'll be doing more videos, maybe more videos, I don't know. Honestly, I've been doing a couple and they're kind of fun. So subscribe to see more stuff from me. I really don't have much else to say, so I think that's it. If any of my teachers watch this, you better not tell me. And bye.